I don't see anything wrong with my shirts, so... yeah, Ed, let's do it. So this was me at the end of last year. I was probably talking about Kanye West or something because I'm a little bit obsessed with him. But my last talk was on about the things I learned in 2015. And as the year came to an end, I probably realised now and over the last 6 months that I've learned more in 2016 than I ever did in 2015. 2015 was a year of change for me. The first 6 months of 2016 have been a bigger 6 months of change for me. I've probably learned so much more about myself than I ever would have thought in the last 6 months. And it's kind of leading me to where I am next. But first, we have to go back. Last time I spoke, about a week later, I was like this guy, happy on a plane, because everyone is always happy on a plane. I was flying to New York for a holiday I'd been building up through for the whole year. I flew out there on December the 3rd to visit my friend who lived in New Jersey, go traveling for a bit, went up to Boston, had a great time. While I was there, this was me looking wistful as fuck in New Jersey, looking out onto New York. This is actually the front cover of my debut Christian rock album, New York Beginnings. It's available from all good record stores next week. It's a really personal project to me. And I kind of spent a lot of time hanging around. And I went to see my favourite band, Modern Baseball. If you haven't checked them out, I told you about them last time. I've seen them 6 times live. And this is kind of like the night my life changed. I met someone who I fell in love with in an instant. I've met someone who I'm kind of still seeing now, who lives in New York. This was 6 months ago. I didn't anticipate it, but throughout the holiday, I'd felt things shift in me. I felt like I was getting better feeling about coming back to Cardiff, about where my life was going, that kind of thing. I'd learned a lot about myself through traveling by myself and just kind of getting to know myself. It's so wanky, isn't it? And during that time, events kind of conspired for me. I felt like ended up in the right place at the right time. I'd made my own luck, from meeting my girlfriend at the gig to flying home and sitting opposite someone who was in the process of getting married to someone who'd been in a long-distance relationship for 2 years. And it kind of felt like I'd said a lot of yeses to get to that decision. This is one of my favourite books of all time, Danny Wallace, Yes Man, It Will Change Your Life. I've read this book 4 or 5 times. I read it in the aftermath of me coming home, and for the first time I kind of thought, I'm going to say yes to a lot of things, and I'm just going to do it. And I've made this trip now 3 times this year. I've been back and forth February, March, April. I've spent several hours in purgatory in the airport. My last flight was delayed by 7 hours, and I genuinely wanted to shoot myself. I've spent far too much money on it, but I'm saying yes because I've met someone who I really care about. I've packed my little knapsack and a handkerchief and a stick several times. I'm in the process of doing that now because a week tomorrow, I've got a one-way flight to New York, and I don't know when I'm coming back. I've kind of made a big decision. I've quit my job like this sassy broad here. I walked in, I've thought about it, I've ummed and ahed about it, and I know I'm making the right decision because it's right by me and it's what I want to do, and I'm just kind of going with it for the first time. You know, I came home, I ummed and ahed for a few weeks, and I've just done it. And like this guy, I am chasing the Yankee dollar. I literally don't know what I'm going to do when I get there. I've booked a flight, I've met a few people for jobs, I've had interviews, and I've got a few things in the fire, but I'm just kind of going out there and just going to give it a go to see what happens. I've got a limited pile of cash. I've got no $100 bills because they're quite rare to come by, and I didn't realize that until recently, but I'm just kind of... I know it's the right decision. I know it's something that I want to do, and, you know, I'm kind of at the age now where if I don't do it now, I'll sit on my hands and regret it in 6 months, and if I plan it, fine, but I'm going to wing it. And you're about to see a fucking great success or the biggest failure you've ever seen. And I'm happy with that. Like, it's exciting, isn't it? It's really exciting. If I tell myself that, I don't get too worried, you know? And I know, like, it's now. It's never going to be later for me. I've kind of come back and I've weighed up the options over the last 6 months. I've been back and forth. There's been too many heart-wrenching goodbyes to even consider that I want to stay here. So I'm going out there, and this question mark just represents what's going up in my head right now. And who knows where I'll be in 6 months' time. Like I said, it could be the greatest thing you'll ever see, and I'll be like fucking Barack Obama and president or something like that. Or I'm just going to, I don't know, end up on the streets of Brooklyn. And it's you know, I've realized that my home will always be here, but it's my chance to go out there and kind of like make a new home for me, which is cheesy as shit, I know. But it's the kind of the opportunity in my life to do it, and I just think it's really exciting, and I can live like Aziz Ansari. If anyone's seen Master of None, it's the greatest TV program of all time about being kind of not really sure what you're doing with your life, and I'll live like him for a little while, drinking in these cool bars, hanging out with my tall friend Arnold, who's probably not much taller than me, and living in Brooklyn, and that's really exciting to me. And even if it all goes tits up, next Sunday I'm seeing Kanye West at Governor's Ball. And it's going to be really fucking... I said I'd do that for Gareth over there. It's going to be really fucking good. And the one thing I know that after all this is said and done, I'll have no regrets like this guy, because I'm not tattooing shit on my body. I'm just going out and I'm coming back for really fucking good reasons. And this guy's got that on his arm for life, and I haven't. So, cheers, guys.